Hey YouTube, did you know if you sign up for First membership, you could see shows like Always Open 24 hours early and shows like RWBY 24 hours early and other shows that no one else could see like Day 5, Crunch Time, and much more. So click here to sign up for a free 30-day trial to see what First membership is like and let me know what you think. It's awesome. Hello everyone, welcome to Always Open. I'm your host, Barbara Dunkelman, and with me today I have a very regrettable cast choice, starting with...
I'm Aaron Marquis.
I'm Lynn Marquis.
I'm Ashley, and I'm already sorry.
So I have, not only do I have my boyfriend Aaron on the show.
You have his boyfriend.
But I have his boyfriend Lynn, also known as his brother.
Yeah.
Which I feel is going to be slightly dangerous for this episode.
Oh, it'll be a great time.
I'm excited about
Lynn's
it.
doing great. He already finished a drink.
I did. That's only because that man knows how to make a hell of a drink.
We were
I
also
want him to
only
live in my house.
sitting here for about 5 minutes and it was gone.
Yeah, he made a really good drink. I'm trying to sell it.
Well, let's do another good drink.
Oh, yeah.
We're going to start off with our shot. And we're actually filming this before Thanksgiving, so I thought it would be appropriate to do a Thanksgiving themed shot. This is the pumpkin pie shot. Aaron's not doing it because he doesn't like cinnamon.
I'm allergic.
It was submitted by Anonymous, and it contains, what did we get instead of cinnamon schnapps?
I don't like that it's anonymous.
Yeah.
What's it called? Hot Damn? Hot Damn.
Oh.
Hot damn.
Irish cream and coffee liqueur. So,
Smells amazing.
Cheers.
4chan
Cheers.
submitted
Can
this
we
shot.
touch 'em?
Okay.
cheers to
4chan.
4chan.
A little bit of Drano. Ooh.
Oh,
It
That
kind
is
of does
really
taste
good.
like
that's
Thanksgiving.
nice.
Like Thanksgiving and Ugg boots.
You want to try a little bit of that
Yeah.
just to
Yeah,
test it
I
out?
feel like it just got a little bit whiter.
Yeah, it's a very basic bitch shot.
I feel like it
See?
should be served in red cups.
Yeah.
Was this a red silk panties?
We were just talking about those.
He knows how to get into my
Or a
pants.
peach schnapps and vodka.
Were you trying to get Aaron? That's
It's
okay.
not that hard.
Trying to
It's
get
really
or
not.
has me?
It's true. So right before we started talking, Ashley brought up an interesting fact about herself, where
Hold on, what was I saying?
You said you weren't ticklish.
you said you
Or
were
you could
ticklish.
keep yourself from being tickled.
When I was little, I was ticklish and I hated it. It always made me really mad. I don't know, like I didn't like the loss of control or something.
Okay.
And so I taught myself to not be ticklish.
You're under like a bonsai tree meditating, just like,
I think I was just mad.
oh God, so you're angrily meditating under a bonsai tree?
Yeah, I just like eventually just like fully like just tense up and just like.
How old were you when you made this realization / choice?
I mean, it was little enough to still get tickled, so I know I can't have been more than like 10.
I was tickled a few weeks ago. You get tickled until you're old.
You know what?
You were on the bus.
I still call upon that vestigial anger.
I kind of want to.
I can still
want
not be
somebody
ticklish.
to tickle you. Is there like a tickle guy? There's so many people like standing around. Somebody's got
There's
to be a
gotta
tickler.
there's gotta be a spot, like especially on the rib cage or the stomach.
I occasionally, when someone's giving me nice like foot tickle rubs,
I feel like unaware of it.
then yeah, it takes me a second. And I go like, "Who," and then I'll go. It's it's very much the same technique as getting through a really painful massage. When you're just like
You zone out.
you can get through this. Breathe.
You just have to not
It will
think
be
about it.
over soon.
Let your body
You're
relax.
gonna survive it, and then you're fine.
like
That's how
leaf-
you deal with torture.
Are those Lethal
Also
Weapon?
tickling.
Whenever Busey has the lighter under his arm,
Yeah.
like that. That scene would have been way better if like you just get tickled.
My associate has certain skills, and there's like.
That would be
just
more
standing there.
intimidating. That's a hell of a talent.
It was actually very hypocritical of me because I love tickling my brother and sister.
Oh, so you didn't want them to use it against you though,
Absolutely.
which is smart. Did you guys ever tickle each other?
No.
Why would we tickle each other when
Like
you could
not when
just
we
punch
were
in the
kids.
face?
When we're adults.
My older brother used to tickle me all the time. He used to do this thing where he would wrap himself in a blanket and he would like wiggle towards me like a worm. And if he caught me, he would tickle me. And I used to be terrified whenever he would do it. And
Well,
he would
because that's
make
kind
this.
of obvious. It's not like he's sneaking up on you. He's just rolling towards you as a giant. Get away from me. Like, don't be. It's fine.
Well, it's just like he would also like sing this theme song when he did it too. So like every time I heard
What
it,
was the
Theme
theme
song?
song?
I don't remember, but it was terrifying because it was coming from him, and I knew I was like, he's coming.
So was that his version of Jaws?
Probably. I don't know.
Worm.
Worm.
Tickle worm. I don't know why I just didn't run away. He was on his stomach,
Wrapped up
wiggling
in a-
towards me in a blanket.
I just did a thing to Lynn that was the claw, which I learned from my dad.
The claw?
Which is, no, you get this thing and you go, the claw is coming. and then he'd start running away, and
From
if I
Liar
caught
Liar?
him,
Yeah.
I'd go like that.
Well, our dad actually had really strong hands. He's a mechanic. Aaron can't really pull off the grip all that well.
But so just because I lotion my hands doesn't mean that.
They look like good, strong hands.
Yeah, I could crush this glass right now if you wanted me to.
Remember,
Aaron?
you used to always punch me in like the left ass cheek. I remember that.
The
You would-
left one specifically.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, me?
Yeah, because basically he was trying to make it so like it was like as painful as possible, so he'd always want to hit the same spot. And apparently holding me down, the easiest way was just the one ass cheek.
Well, that's because
Yeah,
when
I
you
was like,
when you walk away, you go like this.
So is your left ass cheek like more like condensed?
It's all
than
messed
your
callous.
right?
It's all
It's all messed
callous
up
and
now.
way
It just
more.
has a giant fist mark on it, just like
He
indentation.
keeps having to get Botox for that cheek because it's
You
all.
like fill it back
it's all
up.
I know somebody
deformed.
knows how to do that now.
Yeah.
I had a nice talk about Botox earlier. It was great. I learned so much.
Would you ever get Botox?
No. Well, no. I am currently wearing makeup though, so that's something.
So
That's
is
a
Aaron.
first.
Lynn would get Botox.
I do have very prominent the lines on my forehead, which I also learned from him. Like,
Those are good though. It makes you look expressive.
It
I am
does.
expressive.
Instead
I
of
think-
dead
you
in
know
the
what it
face,
makes you look
like-
like? It makes you look like Oldest Hemsworth.
the one that's in
Oh yeah,
Westworld? The
I'm
oldest
sorry,
Hemsworth?
second oldest Hemsworth.
Ian?
Sorry, oldest
Liam.
Hemsworth.
Chris is the
sorry,
second oldest.
oldest
Youngest is-
Hemsworth that anybody outside of Westworld knows about.
Isn't
Gotcha.
there 3 Hemsworths?
Yes,
Yes.
the oldest one's in Westworld.
So oldest one in Westworld. He's what's the security guy?
Yeah, he's a security guy.
and
He's with
then
the
there's
chick when the guy.
then
oh,
there's
that guy.
Chris, and then there's the one that Miley is on and off again with.
Oh, Miley's on.
Oh,
I don't even know.
Liam. There's
Yeah.
Liam,
Liam.
and there's
Liam.
what's
He's
Chris?
Thor.
Chris.
Wait,
Chris
no,
is-
Chris.
No,
is
no, sorry.
Thor.
Chris is Thor. Liam is the one from
Is
the.
Hunger Games?
Yeah. the chick
Yes.
hero.
Is there a third marquee that we don't know about?
Yes.
Oh yeah. There's a third, probably a fourth, and a fifth.
He's called the spare organ one.
Yeah.
So we're just gonna keep instead of Botoxing, we just take little pieces off.
There was someone, I think it was Kelly Clarkson, that.
Dad thought that. She
Yeah,
was
our dad was watching
100%
TV.
convinced.
Was watching TV one day, and Kelly Clarkson was performing. My dad didn't know who the hell Kelly Clarkson was, and she's performing and doing this stuff at this, whatever event. And he stops in front of the TV and looks and goes, "Who is that?" And I go, "It's Kelly Clarkson." He goes, "Where was she born?" And I was like, I forget where I said.
He did
and he
do a
goes,
Somewhere
weird
in Texas.
background.
and he goes, "What year?" And I said, 83, 84, and he goes, "Oh," and he walked off.
None of that is substantiated in any way. That was a one-time.
But he wasn't joking, and he hasn't mentioned it since.
He did drink a lot. Then.
So Kelly, sis, if you're out there,
Give us some
I'm
of that
drinking
American
to
Idol
you.
money.
Yeah.
No, she was born somewhere in Texas. I forget the exact city, but it was somewhere in Texas. So maybe
Yeah.
he just thought that. Where is it?
Burleson?
Burleson?
Burleson.
Wealth of knowledge.
My dad's old stomping grounds. Yeah.
Was he? Did he ever?
I don't know.
He did have like a very convincing like train of thought that led him to that, and apparently she looked similar to somebody that he.
You just know that at that moment, this flash went through his brain of like him
There was
being,
genuine terror in his
being
eyes.
drunk on red silk panties and like wandering around a club with Mrs. Clarkson around.
Mrs. Clarkson.
Whatever her name is. Anyway. Wait, is more booze coming?
Sure is. Well, for Lynn.
Yes!
Because he finished his drink. Not yours. You didn't
You
finish
haven't
yet.
finished yours.
Oh, wait, was I supposed to? Should
Well,
I?
that's how you get a new drink here. Texas is on it.
Oh.
He sees.
That's how this works.
So it's a chicken and egg thing.
Yes.
You know, you gotta finish the drink to get the drink, but you can't get the drink till you
Well,
finish
that's a
the drink.
perfect time to segue onto my first time. This one was submitted by Morgan. Thank you, Morgan. What was the first time you noticed you had hit puberty?
What happened?
That's the best segue ever. That's great.
She just completely abandoned whatever I was
hit you in the
saying.
well, I mean, it was let's be honest, it was the easiest way out.
Yeah.
Nice.
Of you being terrible at
She
knowing how
saved
things
me.
work.
She
I thought it
actually
was a
saved
perfect
Chickens
place
and
to
eggs.
change the subject. Yeah.
me. So what was it? The
Until you
first?
pulled it back in.
First time you
Puberty?
realized you had hit puberty.
I think women actually have more of a.
It's
starting
pretty direct
bench-
with
yeah.
girls. It's like
all
I
of a
didn't
sudden-
used to. It's like I didn't used to bleed out of there.
Oh, I thought you were looking
There
at
you
your
go.
boobs when you did that.
Oh,
I used to
no.
bleed out
I
my
didn't-
nipples.
I didn't have those for a long time. Like they were like late developers, and I was like, come on.
You
Yeah.
can tell when they come in. I have
Come
no
on.
idea when my balls showed up. All of a sudden they were just there and happy to see me.
You weren't like standing in front of the mirror. being
No, like, there wasn't,
"Hey,
like, a
balls,
noise."
Where the fuck are you?
And it
They just shot out of your ass.
So when they talk about balls dropping, what does that actually?
Yeah, what does that mean?
They don't actually drop. I mean, like I didn't.
They
even
fall on the floor, and you gotta
them back
make
up.
sure that you saw them fall, or you lose them forever.
You kick them under the couch. You forget
no,
about them for a little bit.
We're never gonna get an actual answer with these two, like ever. So.
I don't remember my
they,
balls
they
dropping.
just
There
they're just
wasn't a
really tight
definite-
into the thing, and they're up like this. And then one
sack.
day, one goes boonk, and the other one goes dunk, and doesn't go
So they
down
just
as far.
they
Yeah,
just
the-
loosen a little
And
bit.
one's way lower than the
But
other
does
one.
it happen? This like, do they
Like,
drop on the same day, or is it like one drops one day and then like 4 months later the other one follows
I do not
suit?
remember.
I'm sure there's some guys where one was up here and one was just dangling down here. They just had one ball that could just kind of.
You pull one, the other one goes back up. For
me?
kind of like
Yeah.
strings on your hoodie, trying to get them level. And one's still just a little bit lower.
Mine was, well, it was two instances. One was, I remember
You had
being
two balls.
in the, well, it's not just balls, okay? Puberty is a lot of things.
Yes.
All right, let's get that straight. It's also hair. And
I didn't notice that either.
Hair
Yeah,
and
I
voice.
I just all of a
Pimples?
sudden had.
voice. I don't remember the voice thing, but I remember
Moodiness?
distinctly in junior high being in the locker room, and I was gonna put on deodorant, and I'd been using deodorant even though I didn't have hair. Whatever.
You can
And-
still
How
sweat
do you
without
still smell
hair.
bad?
Why would you need hair to
Yeah,
use
but
deodorant?
the hair locks in the smell.
It
And
does.
that's when you need it.
That's not
That's-
true.
why do women
as
use
a lady
deodorant
who,
then?
who shaves her armpits and I still have to wear deodorant.
This is my story. Okay, so then I was putting on the deodorant, and then I pull it back, and there was a hair in it. And I go, what is this? And I look, and there were three, I remember it was 3 hairs, like in one armpit. And
Like
I go,
Homer Simpson's like head just.
So your underarm looked like Chris's chest, basically,
Yeah.
like it does now.
well, he has like 5 or 6 hairs now.
Oh.
That's another thing. I'll have to go on that later. But and I showed a friend of mine in the locker room, and I go, look at this. And they're like, ooh, dude, what the hell is that? And it's like, I don't, you know, and I look on both sides. Flash forward 3 weeks. Now, I have to put you in the time frame. This was
set
Backstreet
the
Boys
mood. Okay.
were big, NSYNC. A lot
good
of
time.
like,
Did you have frosted tips?
no, but friends did. But there was a lot of grooming on that note. There's a lot of, people were hairless.
you had
Men were
round
hairless.
orange sunglasses.
No.
Yeah.
No.
They were orange. They weren't sunglasses. They were prescription eyeglasses that were round and orange.
Oh, yeah, I did have those.
You did have those.
Anyway.
What?
Yeah, that was the thing. I got
We're
pictures.
gonna need a photo of
We're
this.
getting distracted
Yeah.
from 3 weeks later when I lift off my shirt in gym and there were a new 3 hairs, but they were directly in my chest.
In
and
like
I
that
look-
little crevice right
in this
there?
little crevice, and I look down and I go, no, no, because no one in our family has a hairy
I
chest
still don't have
besides
chest hair.
our mom.
I have none whatsoever.
And like,
I also
yeah.
can't grow facial hair.
No one in your family besides your mom.
Oh, we absolutely get the hair from our mom, like absolutely.
Well, yeah.
Our
But
dad
she-
couldn't.
I mean,
on
you
her
mean
side
from her
was-
side,
Yeah.
right?
Like our uncle
No,
Steve
from our mom.
is just like, he's a very hairy man.
Yeah, his mom has a mustache and a beard. It's kind of weird.
That's not polite
Our
to
mom is
say
Josh.
on
Josh
camera,
Flanagan is
Just
our mother.
kidding.
but she does.
Your
absolutely.
your mom honestly looks like she's 25.
Is he a
No, I know.
Cancer? Because I hear he's very motherly.
Josh, I don't know what
Josh
he is.
Flanagan.
I always assumed he wasn't born. He just
No,
suddenly
I
existed.
don't know when his birthday is.
He was started out as a pile of hair and then grew skin.
Living with him was fun.
His puberty was like, oh, a skin.
I shared a bathroom with Josh.
An arm.
It was aggressive. Like the toilet, I had to I couldn't clean it with a sponge. I had like a straight razor.
Oh,
And
yeah.
he's a very.
Yeah, because I imagine, like, I mean, girls, you probably clog drains all the time with your long hair. Because when you shower, you shed a lot. And I can't imagine Josh, because he probably sheds from every inch of his body.
Well, I didn't live with him when he had long hair.
Well,
but-
between
not
the
even
two
that,
of
though,
them,
just
though, I
his
mean,
body hair.
the hair, like, yeah, I've never seen a toilet that needed to be shaved before, but that was the toilet.
it was rough.
Gross.
Just
It
like
was
in the
awful.
back
Yeah.
I
area.
don't like the sound
And the
of that.
rim. Like
Yeah, the rim. I
It looked
don't
like it had like a chin strap on it.
Looked like
God.
one of those Amish
It absolutely
people.
did. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, so chest hair was a big problem.
Yeah, I
for me.
still don't have chest hair.
You don't?
No, I have none. You know I don't. That
course
shouldn't
you
be
don't.
I don't know,
surprising.
maybe you
You
got
guys
a couple.
don't-
Like it's in the
Tickle
past
session.
week.
You look like you're from different families, like different backgrounds too. Like you look more like Italian.
What?
Yeah,
Maybe
I
Sicilian.
look like I
don't
got
know.
hit in the head more.
None of the
you
ass.
probably did.
Well, he looks like my dad, and I look like my mom.
Yeah, it's true. Actually, if you look at a picture of our mom whenever she was little, like around the same age as him, it looks like him with long hair.
Also, there's
except
a
for he had orange sunglasses.
Photo of your dad that we,
Oh, yeah.
we saw last Christmas.
Yeah.
Was it? Where it was him when he was around your age, and
He
looked-
hates that photo.
He looks
and that
like you
was
then.
why that was my white elephant present. And I'm so glad he picked it. I literally got a printout from it's like 40 years old. And I had it printed up and framed and wrapped it up as the white elephant because it's a picture of him dressed as a cowboy and he absolutely hates it. And he picked it for a white elephant and opened it and just got pissed. And it was the best. I have never been more happy in my entire
your
life.
dad, I don't know what it is about him. He has that attitude where he never gets angry that I've noticed. He just does that giggle thing,
Yeah.
you suck, that kind of thing.
So
very
he's a
jovial.
great repressor.
Yes.
is what
Oh,
you're saying.
yeah.
You bottle it up.
He probably doesn't get tickled.
The Marquis are men of repression.
Yeah, it's
Keeping
all right
it down.
here. All
Maybe
your
repression
fear and
isn't the right
emotions.
word.
I don't. You should probably not.
Everyone
use
else,
Not
inner
oppression.
repression, inner repression,
Self-oppression. Deprecation.
self-loathing.
Yeah.
that.
Yeah,
It must be really hard to be a white American dude.
I know that. I was
is
just
tough.
about to talk how hard it was.
It is tough.
No, it's not that hard.
Is that the second part of puberty?
Yeah, I can't talk. I can't complain about
No.
When did you first realize it?
Well, I think it was actually the first time that something actually came out.
Semen?
Wait.
Yeah. Well, yeah, exactly.
Okay.
It wasn't like a ball or like an anchovy. It was like, like a weird perverted magician. Just can't
For
afford
my
a
next
hat.
trip.
Like suddenly a pigeon.
A rabbit falls out of your balls.
because you play with it and you slap it around.
Yeah.
Because you don't know what you're doing. You know that it does something, but you don't know what.
You just like hit it repeatedly until something
You
comes
just do
out of it?
anything. You just literally.
Would it just, like, get
you're
hard
rubbing it on
without
stuff
even,
and-
like,
Oh, yeah,
you-
absolutely. Yeah.
Well, not until you're about 11 or 12.
Well, it's usually puberty-ish.
Uncontrolled erections, as the junior high school kids know. When you have to do that thing.
the waistband or the books.
Either one.
I had to do both.
When you have to speak in front of
Wait,
the class.
what's a waistband?
Waistband, you literally
You
flip
tuck
it
it.
up.
You tuck
and
it in the
put
waistband.
the
Oh, okay.
waistband.
How do you not know that? Everyone
She
knows.
doesn't
I don't
have
know.
a
I've
dick.
never had a dick.
I haven't either, but everyone knows the waistband trick.
Well, keep in mind that
be
when
weird.
when I was in junior high school, about the era was that was the era of no fear shirts and like the super baggy pants, and they probably didn't need to do that because the pants just like you can hide anything. I'm still convinced most people had a family living in their pants.
It could have happened.
So
Well,
we-
technically they do, because their balls have sperm in it.
Future family, got it.
It cycles over.
Yeah.
We had, I mean, we had dress codes, so we had slacks. And if you ever had an erection in slacks,
There's
you know
shading.
you can't just hide it.
You just see dick.
Is that why you get pleats so it just looks like you have one all the time? And
Please
then that
don't
way?
hide a penis.
I mean,
No, but don't
the
they make it look like
waistband's
you have a
stronger.
permaboner?
What is a pleat, honestly? I'm just
It's
gonna go
like
with
Pleats
those
are
like
like on the side.
folds.
The material's folded and it kind of on dudes, I guess, like on pleated men's pants, it can make it look like there's a bit of a tent going on at
Yeah.
all
Ah,
times.
'cause
It's
it's
usually
creased
like
on both
around
sides.
the
Yeah, I
top.
gotcha.
If you got a
Upper
boner,
thigh.
you got a boner. And if you have to speak in front of a class, you have to do
You
a
got a
few
boner.
things. But it's either tuck in the waistband or you do this thing. You put your hand in the pocket, and
That's
then
a
you go
different
like,
thing.
I gotta go, I
Is there
gotta
a
get up
hole?
and speak. What?
Is there a hole in
No,
it? You physically held it down?
No, well, you put your hand in your pocket to bring out the pants.
Oh, that makes more sense.
To make it seem.
I thought you were actually like grabbing it and like holding it to the side, and, like limping up to the front of the classroom.
If you're having
Your dick.
a particular vigorous day, you could, I guess. You just kind of hold it and then walk up to the thing. But the thing was, is like
Vigorously holding it.
some women, some girls, would know at the time, like
might have been
especially if some guys told them like this is what's going on, they'd go like,
If you have your book bag in front of you, everybody knows. It's like grabbing your purse to go to the
It's
bathroom. Everybody knows that
impossible
you're.
not to look at a boner through pants.
I was so
someone has-
clueless
If
in
there was a
junior high
boner
school.
currently somewhere, I wouldn't be able to not look at it currently. Just
or not
because I'd be
even
confused
a boner,
mostly.
but a visible penis. Like, for
yeah,
example,
it's hard not to see a visible penis.
But I mean, like in the shorts, like for example, Blaine, recently was wearing these shorts where we were doing some video, and like clearly you could see his dick.
I remember those,
And
yeah.
he's just like, "You're looking at my dick, aren't you?" And I'm like,
Everyone-
"We're all looking at your
everyone
dick. You can't not. It's like right there."
oh, look at this.
Thank you, buddy.
Yeah, wait, this is your third?
No.
Yes.
I told you they're dangerous.
It's
Thank
his second
you.
on
He
air.
makes a hell of a drink.
Lynn's about to get really incoherent.
About to.
About. God damn it. You're so quick.
You're also getting slower.
Am I?
Am I?
10 minutes later,
Really?
am I?
Oh my
The
god.
first one you had was-
when Texas warns me my drink is dangerous.
Because
we're in
all of the
trouble.
drinks
So
are dangerous.
It was a bit of an accident with the beach schnapps. It actually just kind of
Happy accident.
kind of poured in there.
I bid you all good night.
Yes. He
Cheers
Bob
to
Rossed
that.
it.
I thought you were saying there was a little bit of accident with your drink. I stirred it with my erect penis because we were talking about penises.
That would be awkward. But it would taste just like
Awkward.
mom
That
does.
is-
What? It
That does
wasn't
not
awkward.
taste
Now
like-
it is.
That doesn't taste like Texas's dick.
So other than like the obvious time that I knew,
How do you put chapstick on you?
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Anyway, sorry.
It was just the tip.
keep going.
So we were having our own side thing, sorry. You have your story now.
Thank you, Aaron.
He's touching me.
That's so nice of you to
We're all
get me
touching.
to talk. Don't touch me.
Oh, I hit right on the mic. Just right to it. I'm
What mic? There's no mics here.
gonna rub my beard on it, make an ASMR
I
video.
have a beard.
Yeah, I got stuff. It's November. I have to have something, or else I get yelled at.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Where's your beard?
What? I shaved it off because I didn't want to look like fucking someone shaved their
So do you
balls on top of my
celebrate
face.
November?
Yeah.
Do you do fundraising, or do you just
Actually,
do
yeah.
that so people don't tease you?
Mixture of the two, actually. We kind of have like a system set up. You pay in to actually grow the facial hair to the charity, and then you just can't shave the mustache. But I can't do anything like in this general area right here. But if he goes like 8 hours without shaving, he has a full-on, just like.
It's true. That's why I think you're from different families.
Maybe. You never know.
Someone's lying to you.
Milkman
Living with
came.
him and Josh was actually super emasculating as far as beard goes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. It would just be like a weekend, and they both had a full-on thing going.
Plus,
And
we
this
didn't
is
have
like-
jobs all the time, so we always looked homeless.
You had jobs.
As long as you're not doing just the mustache.
I know.
I don't like that.
It's not.
Is it on the last day of November? You're supposed to shave it down to just the mustache, right?
Just the
Like you
mustache?
can grow it up, but by last day of November, you have
Yep,
to be able to
just the
show
mustache.
this is my mustache.
A lot of bars give you free drinks, by the way, if you have just a mustache.
You're gonna need them because no girls will date you.
Yeah. It's a celibate November.
Yeah, Aaron.
He, a couple years ago, only had the mustache. And I don't know if you can imagine this face with just a
It
mustache.
looked like Errol Flynn going through puberty. It was rough.
Beautiful. Someone call the cops, please.
I got it on my hand.
He drew on more.
So,
facial hair was nice.
other than the obvious, which is period, which every girl knows, like, oh, I'm becoming a woman. For me, it was actually the first day I noticed that I was like sweating, which I know sounds really weird, but apparently that's a thing with puberty where like you actually become sweaty where you need to use deodorant or something, because when you're young, that doesn't happen too often. Like, could you think of like a sweaty 5-year-old?
Right, like you exert yourself and
Yeah.
you sweat, but unless you're doing sports, you're probably not gonna need it.
Do kids not sweat? Are they like dogs?
No,
Are they
kids-
pants?
kids-
Sweat.
kids
I don't, I'm not around
Just,
kids a
just
lot.
not from
They get
just
all, like-
not doing anything.
The other thing about kids too, though, is like when they sweat, sometimes they just get like really like red and shiny.
I do that. I'm
Almost
always
like
shiny.
their skin is like under extreme pressure from
Yeah.
the inside.
Kids have to sweat.
I'm not saying they don't sweat, but I'm saying like
No, they sweat, but it seems like it's not
not like
concentrated the same way.
like when you're going through puberty and like all your hormones are going crazy. That's like when it hit for me. When it's just like I could just be like hanging out and I'd be like, oh, I got a pitch stain.
Drenched.
There's also
Yeah.
a very specific teenage boy smell. It's a very specific smell,
Where?
and it's
Why are you hanging out with? Oh,
of course it's teenage
Bernie's
boys.
kids.
2 of them.
Forgot. I was like, where are you
Constantly.
going that you're hanging out with
I'm
teenagers?
in locker rooms all the time. I'm an assistant coach at the high school.
Just walk
Oh,
right in. You don't
sweetie,
need a
you got
badge.
armpit hair.
You're actually with people going through puberty currently.
Yeah, 2 of them.
Not to bring
Yeah,
that up. but-
Teddy is still kind of like pre-puberty, but JD is like definitely there. He is full teenager now. He's got his mood swings. He's got, like his skin's changing.
No frontal lobe.
He's getting really tall really fast. I think he's taller than I am now.
What? That's
Yeah.
not very hard though.
People keep getting
Right.
taller.
I mean, considering though that like his mom is shorter than I am.
Yeah.
And so, like, I wasn't sure where he'd hit. Also, because Bernie was a late bloomer height-wise. He was very short all the way through high school.
Oh, yeah, I
And then,
remember
like,
him
I think it was
saying
last year of high school, he shot up like 8 inches, something
What is he?
crazy
6'2"?
like that.
6'1"?
Yeah, Bernie's 6'2".
He's surprisingly tall.
Yeah.
What did you think
Why
he
is
was
that
short?
surprising?
I don't know. Like whenever I first met him, I was genuinely like he was big because people are supposed to be smaller when you meet
Here's
them.
the reason for that. I've actually heard that a lot about, like, especially the Rooster Teeth founders, is everyone's like, they're all tall. It's
Gus is
weird.
really tall, yeah.
But it's because they're all the same height, or like thereabouts, so there's no one to like throw it into relief.
It's just like a wall.
So it's just like all
Yeah.
like same height dudes, and you don't associate a specific height with it.
Or there's no comparison.
Yeah.
in terms of,
Right,
like this
exactly.
person's clearly that height. But yeah, when I noticed it, I was actually about 10 years old, and I was at summer camp, and it wasn't like a sleepaway summer camp. It was just one of those things where you go to camp during the day and then go home at night. And it was one night when we were having a sleepover in the gym. It was like seen as really cool.
Sleepover
because
in the gym.
You got to stay overnight at
Was it a
camp.
lock-in?
It's like a lot.
Yeah, like a lock-in. And I was wearing this light blue Superman shirt. And like we were doing all these activities and hanging out with like other boys and things like that. And I went to the bathroom and I went
other
to
boys?
older boys.
Oh, I think you said other. I was like,
12-year-old
Well,
boys.
it was usually like girls hang out with their like group and do
Right.
activities together. And you see boys at the summer camp, but not very often.
gotcha.
But they were older as well, which made it very
Hey.
scandalous.
Did that mean like 13?
Yeah.
Like 12.
That's what I said as well.
Those 12-year-old boys.
Isn't this Jewish camp too?
It was Jewish.
Weren't they,
Yeah.
weren't they really dorky?
Super scandalous.
Yeah.
They still
Oh,
do
yeah.
Jewish camps?
Yes.
No. No.
So what did you do with this Jewish?
Did you take showers together?
I don't know, but it smelled really gassy in there.
Did you experiment in these camps?
Stop.
We're all going to hell. That's it.
It's funny because you played Hitler.
He was a great Hitler.
Yeah.
Were you Hitler?
Look,
I like to read history and I like to
Repeat
report.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
anyways.
Anyway, you were sweating profusely.
A lot of cute boys around.
On a wooden
They're
gym
getting
floor.
endorphins
Well, I
going
was
and
10,
stuff.
and a lot of feelings happening that night. And I went to the bathroom to fix my hair, and I lifted up my hands to like fix my ponytail, and I noticed I had like wetness under my arm, and I was like, what is that? Because that never happened to me before. So that was definitely like a turning point. And oh, you're hitting puberty.
You think just being
Welcome to
around
the
like in
worst
a
years of your
lock-in
life.
with cute boys that kind of like
Just had
spurred
me like
something on?
flustered.
Like I mean, but like it's the first time you really like had those feelings and were like nervous around. Because right now like my palms, my mouth is dry and stuff.
Because you're, yeah.
just
You were
'cause
just
it's-
talking about the Holocaust, maybe.
It gets me excited.
Holy shit! When?
Oh my god.
Me and Texas should not be friends.
Just drink slower.
I can't. It just keeps refilling. It's like virtuosity in the sushi.
We should have a
Come
graph.
back.
We should have a graph on the third drink. It was concentration camps. Let's see what the fourth
go.
drink.
I didn't.
is.
I said no. I was just surprised that there was a Jewish camp. You took it any way you wanted to. Lots of camps.
What about you, Ashley?
Yeah.
It's so I'm trying to think of like the exact like moment, and it's hard to pin down. Besides like, well, that's new when you start like bleeding in odd places.
That was your reaction.
It's a
That's
pretty
new.
definite-
Well, like, okay, so I think, and I have to like try and like piece everything together, but I'm pretty sure that I started reading romance novels before I formally hit puberty.
Like romance novels.
Yeah, like
Romance
you know
novels
the
are
romance
fantastic.
novels.
Like the ones where the guys are werewolves and they fuck the women and the women are so impressed that they're werewolves and men. I've only read a couple of them, so and they were all with
They're all
werewolves.
werewolves.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's
I
Twilight.
People
never
know
read
what I'm
any
talking
werewolves.
about.
This was mostly medieval ones. And I remember even at the time, like the first one I read was some shitty Joanna Lindsay novel, and she was a lady, but she liked gardening. And then like some dude comes and he's like, "We have to get married," and they have
You
sex,
like to plow
and she
fields?
like
What a-
passes out. And I was like, "What kind of sissy bitch passes out?" Like this is me in junior high school, and I was like, "That seems suspicious." And I asked my mom, and she's like, "Oh yeah, I hate that book." I borrowed it from her
You
collection.
borrowed
Wait, you're
from your
sharing
mom?
romance novels with your mom?
She was
When
okay
did
with
you
that?
tie the connections
I
with
just
her?
took it and read it. I was a voracious reader up until the romance novels. It was all about dragons, though.
Oh, dragons fucking.
Dragons
No,
of Autumn Twilight?
no,
You
just
read
like
that?
just bonding through the mind with the writers. I was a big fan of Anne McCaffrey.
I have no idea anything you're saying right now.
Well,
Isn't
moving
Anne
on.
McCaffrey a virus software?
McAfee.
Oh, close though.
Moving on. Go ahead, Ashley.
You guys are the worst. Dragons are wonderful.
They are wonderful.
I like dragons.
But I read romance novels, and that was like how I started to like get an idea of how like all that stuff worked outside of a book my parents gave me when I was 8 called How Things Work that told me parents share a very special hug.
Imagine if that was done by like a romance novel
Wait,
author. That'd
they-
be awesome.
Right?
They gave you a book called How Things Work, and it's just about.
I don't know that it was how things work, but it was like how babies are made kind of book.
But it
and I was,
didn't
like,
actually
8.
show how babies were made.
Well, I mean, it's like an illustrated book for an 8-year-old.
Was it
It
a
wasn't
pop-up?
like it wasn't porn.
Oh, because
but
my
it
parents
showed-
gave me a book like that when I was probably
I mean,
8 or 9, and
they
it
weren't,
had.
They weren't dressed, but like I'd seen my parents naked before. It wasn't like
Nice.
some crazy shit. Hey, what's up? That's right, mom's seen me naked. So it's like I had a very vague idea, but romance novels are actually like what taught me like how that stuff sort of works. And even in that, I was like,
Could Aaron borrow some?
this shit seems like not quite right.
Well, it's like porn, but for reading. Like it's,
Ye-
but it's
yeah.
also more geared towards women, where I feel porn is more geared towards men.
That's true, I
Yeah.
suppose. And so I remember, like, when I got my period, I was, like, less panicked about it because I remember in the books they always panicked about it. And I was like, oh, it's that thing.
Where
that's
were
what
you
that's
when
like.
you got your first period?
As
blood
I
bank.
recall, like, I just, I was going to the bathroom. I was at home. And I was like,
That's nice.
my underwear got all bloody. That's-
My underwear.
I was like, and it's like you don't know what to do. Like I've never, like I was a kid, I didn't deal with like bloody things all the time.
Never
it
had
like-
bloody shits?
Very different
You never
childhood.
ate-
Well, like
Where'd you
when I
grow
was a
up?
kid.
Did you have Mexican food growing up?
Why did you have bloody shit
What?
as a kid?
Well, we grew up, you know, in Texas, you get some bad Tex-Mex or something.
We also
Sometimes you
still
get-
eat a lot of chili.
Yeah, you get
There's a
you
good
get a
amount of
bloody,
chili.
a
I mean,
bloody
I
underwear.
ate chili on potatoes.
Well, at least you were at home though, so that's nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was
Yeah.
I think it was a weekend. Which, if you're gonna like get a period as a kid, most convenient
Yeah.
time to do it, right?
I was on a 4-day ski trip
I.
Did you high five your
Oh
uterus?
Jesus.
Good job.
with my class.
Oh
Oh
God.
no.
Did any of them have stuff for you?
Was there an adult?
What did you do?
I mean, of course there was an adult, but
What did you do?
A lot of toilet paper.
No, you're just like wadding that stuff up.
Yeah.
Oh no.
4
It
days.
sucks. Oh, that's terrible.
4 days.
Can you imagine
Oh my
being out
God.
in the snow and someone sees like this blood trail and they're like, "Where's Barbara?"
Well, the good,
and then
thing
they
is-
follow it.
the good thing is that you're on a ski trip, so you could wear snow pants, and those things
Yeah.
cover up anything.
They
Great for
absorb,
boners.
they
Yeah.
absorb a
Great
lot
for
of
boners.
blood.
Yeah.
Those ski
I was
pants.
good, but yeah, it was not a good experience.
Yeah. Emotionally, it's hard to pinpoint. It's like there's the time me and my friend figured out that you could use hot tub jets to masturbate, but we didn't realize that's what that was.
Oh, like it just felt really good.
Yeah. Yeah. And you're like, have you tried this? And it's like, no, like, oh, that feels awesome.
You just see a bunch of girls facing backwards in a hot tub, like not talking to each other.
At the time, I'm sure like we thought we were like very like suave about it. Fucking nobody was fooled.
You're just there like,
It's
Yeah,
so
so,
scenic
like, I'm
around
not
the
so
hot
nice.
tub.
I'm not
here.
sure if that counts because I don't know if that was before or after.
it's hard to remember timelines like that.
Yeah, and I'm not sure when I got super moody and changed out all the lights in my room for blue and black lights.
That's definitely a moment of puberty.
And like put up, like black light posters
Yeah.
with the felt and everything.
Yeah.
And you start to get really angry about everything. I'm just gonna assume that came after the blood, but who knows?
I feel like black lights in guys' rooms would be a really bad idea.
Yeah, there's
Spencer's,
just
Oh,
everything
God.
would glow.
Spencer's has this section for when you're going through puberty, and that it has the black light side.
I think it's just Spencer's
It says
in
the
general.
puberty.
that, Spencer's just is black lights, right?
Yeah, that's all it is.
Well, I mean, it's just for people.
And that's
going
where I
through
bought
puberty.
mine
yeah,
Really?
for my rebellious time. Yes.
that's where I got my like pot posters or whatever. The two I had.
with the leaf.
And I didn't smoke pot, Like, and I didn't for like years after
So
that.
the Bob Marley post. You never had a Bob.
No, I had like a, one of the with the cartoon kind of guy that's like reefer and all this other stuff, and it's like yeah, and then friends were like, he doesn't
Well, did you ever
smoke.
hear
Were your parents like, Jesus?
And
And
he
then-
should have told me. I can get him some stuff.
Well, I think my dad asked me. He was like, "You don't, smoke, do you?" I was like, "No." And he's like, "Why do you have the posters up?" I was like, "I don't know."
I like plants.
He's like- and he knew I was telling the truth. He was
Well-
like, "This guy's not."
It's gotta be. It's like
This
Gavin
square
putting up
doesn't
all the
smoke.
I
pictures
was
of
gonna
like
say.
women, like naked ladies and cars and stuff. So his parents would be like, "Oh, he's straight."
Yeah, so he got pictures of two women making out, so his parents wouldn't ask him if he's gay.
Who was that, Gavin?
Gavin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or something along those lines. He
That was
told it
that
on the
Calvin
podcast.
Klein poster.
Yeah,
a lot
the
of
two
guys
girls
had
in the
that.
underwear.
Yeah.
were
A lot of
making out.
guys had certain posters. They had, in the pre-pubescent days. It
What was
was
that album cover with the women sitting on the edge of the pool?
that's Pink Floyd.
Pink
they had
Floyd.
they either had the
Okay.
Pink Floyd poster. They had like a
prison.
Lamborghini Countach or Diablo, depending on how old you are. And then they'd have
Countach, yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
Countach.
Countach.
And then they'd have the Calvin Klein poster, and then
Did you have any of those?
I mean, I had everything. I had all of it.
Aaron had a Titanic poster. You also
I
had a
had
Titanic
posters.
puzzle.
I had a
I did have
poster
a Titanic
of
poster.
Love the Titanic stuff.
the band Garbage. I had an artistic rendition of the Jabberwocky,
Okay.
and I had Blacklight something or other of it was like one of those like psychedelic, all the bright colors and everything.
Yeah.
Awesome room.
I had
That's
Rob
a room now.
Zombie.
Okay. I know Rob
You
Zombie.
know,
Yeah.
for my like real like I don't know hardcore or really upset times. And then I had what else did I have? I might have had a Labyrinth poster. Little eclectic.
I had
Power
a,
of the Babe.
I had a Britney Spears poster.
I did too.
Yeah, guys
And
had
that's
that
it.
too.
Yeah, I did.
All right. Well, I want to say thanks to Movement Watches for sponsoring this episode of Always Open. Movement Watches was founded on the belief that style shouldn't break the bank. The watchmaker's goal is to change the way consumers think about fashion by offering high-quality, minimalist products at revolutionary prices. With over 500,000 watches sold to customers in over 160 countries around the world, Movement Watches has solidified itself as the world's fastest-growing watch company. The holiday shopping season is here. With Movement, you can skip the crowds and standing in crazy lines at the mall and find a gift they'll love. And here's a few reasons why. They have his and her styles, one size fits all, and perfect price with Movement watches starting at just $95. That beats department store prices. Get 15% off today with free shipping and free returns by going to movementwatches.com/open. I saw that you were showing off yours.
Yes.
Which one is that?
This is black and rose gold.
Ooh,
leather band.
I like that with a black face.
Yeah, I love this watch, honestly. This is my first adult watch. Before this was always like plastic bands.
Yeah.
And then I had I'm pretty sure in junior high school at some point I had one watch that had like a light up star that would go around, and then it died and I never got another battery.
I have.
This is a watch.
This is
It's a
all
good watch.
rose gold.
I like that band a lot.
Me too.
Here's the thing.
I feel really fancy with
Here's
it
the
on.
thing is we can switch the bands too.
We could. We're not going to though because I like this one.
Damn it.
No, but you could if you wanted
You
to.
could. They're interchangeable.
Like if
Just
we
sing
held her
out
down,
appetizers.
we could switch the bands.
So now's the time to step up your watch game. Go to movementwatches.com/open and join the movement. Thank you, Movement Watches, very much. I actually have 4 Movement Watches now.
Really?
I actually have.
You do
The
have this
same.
one?
I think I have that one, and then I have one with like a pink band and one with a black band and a gold.
I've got another one. It's like a white pearl with silver, and then I've got a baby blue band on it.
One for every outfit.
I don't have any.
Do you want one?
Yeah.
Now I know what to get you for Christmas. With 15% off using the code OPEN.
You could be less subtle about it and be like our mother who just texts me like, does Aaron have a punching bag? Like, he lives in an apartment.
This coming from the guy who got me toast tongs for
Do you use
Christmas.
them?
I didn't.
You
He
better
did.
use them.
I did.
Wait,
Lynn got me.
toast tongs.
They're made out of
Hold on, let
bamboo.
me
They're
get
super
this
nice.
straight. Are they for pulling toast out of a toaster?
Yeah, they're made out of wood. They don't conduct electricity. They're
super
bamboo.
lightweight.
Sorry, do you get electrocuted a
Aerodynamic.
lot?
No.
I
I also
should-
don't really make toast a whole lot.
Do you have a toaster?
I do.
Okay.
I got one for the toast tongs.
Did you really?
I was like,
$8
well, now I have
toast tongs. $150.
I still-
rotor.
I got you
still-
a good Christmas gift, and you're gonna like it.
You got me a Christmas
I
gift?
did. I saw it, and I was like, "This has
Shit.
Barb written all
Now I
over
gotta
it."
get Ashley a Christmas gift.
That's not the way that works.
Do you like movement watches?
Just get me an interchangeable band.
There you go.
Now you have 3 movement
But no, I
watches.
saw something that reminded me of you, and I was like, I have to get this for Barbara.
Oh, thank you, Ashley. You're like the sister I never had. 'Cause I
It was,
never had
it was a bunch of tampons. So she got you a big thing of tampons.
Yeah,
and a
but
ski jacket.
but here's the thing: is they're
I'm asking what she
they're-
got me, not
they're,
you.
They're in a wreath.
That'd be so
Don't get that
gross.
wreath wet because it'll
festive.
just go.
It's an expandable one. Well, let's move on.
Yeah.
Okay.
Speaking of bad gifts, I want to know what is the worst thing you or your sibling has ever done to each other?
One time, when I was probably about 12 or something. Lynn was 9 or 10. We were wrestling in our house.
Naked?
Not naked.
What?
How dare
That's-
you?
That's Tuesdays.
Yeah, that's Tuesday naked.
I didn't say that. That was someone else.
So we're wrestling, and I lift Lynn and I threw him into the wall. But instead
That's
of
not how that happened.
but instead of
Is that
hitting
how you
the
tell
wall,
that story?
he went through the wall into the closet.
There was a perfect me-shaped hole. It was like a cartoon.
I feel like that's not the worst thing you've done to Lynn, but the worst thing you've done to your
to the house.
parents.
Well,
We put paper over it.
the thing was like
a poster.
I was immediately sorry once I saw where Lynn had gone
because it was permanent.
and so we pull him out, and the hole is monstrous.
Lynn-sized.
It literally looks like
it's in the closet. You know, you can go
making a quick
into the
exit.
closet. So Lynn was like, "Okay, we have an hour before Dad gets home. We should put something over it that says we're sorry." And I was like, "What?" And he's like, "We should put a big piece of paper over." And we had like butcher paper
Why
or something.
were you feeling bad about this? Because you went
Well,
through
they were
it.
No,
wrestling
because he
together.
moved out of the way and I was going to tackle him. We
Oh,
have
you
very
said
different
you threw
stories.
him.
I threw him through it because I'm strong.
What's your
And,
version?
My version is that I was running towards him and he moved out of the way and I went through the wall.
That sounds more
Because-
plausible.
yeah,
Those
right?
sound like completely different events.
That makes me not sound as strong and him sound dumb.
Well, it makes you sound like fast, quick on your feet.
Exactly.
Moved
You're,
out of the
you're
way.
agile.
It does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was running towards me,
Then he tripped and fell.
and I juked him.
You picked me up and you threw me
juked.
through the wall.
And then he went through the wall into the closet like an idiot.
Okay.
And
Very
then,
stupid. I felt I was covered
Man,
in
Lynn, you
drywall.
sound really bad in this story.
so,
Yeah,
so we got this butcher. I mean, the hole was.
We didn't write anything
enormous.
on it either. We were going to leave a note.
We were
and then
going
it
to put a
just- it
note
looked
on
like
the
we
butcher
tried
paper.
to fix the wall with
Yeah.
paper.
And we said, "We're sorry. We didn't mean to do this, Dad." Blah blah blah. And we were so apologetic and such
But you covered
pussies
it
when
all.
he walked in. He looked at us and then was like, "What is it?" And then we show it to him, and he goes, "Oh, okay, all right.
Like,
hobbies,
what could he
like-
do at that point?
Yeah, he was super excited about it. He's like, I get to pull up the drywall, I get to cut some stuff, and
Well, the worst thing was
spackle.
like,
Was he really excited? Did he like doing this
he
kind
didn't
of
look
projects?
excited. He looked very angry.
we
He
knew
looked very
it was an
angry and-
inner excitement that he was having.
It's like you bottle down your anger, and then the excitement, you bottle that down, and then you're just
But we
stone-faced.
did learn how to replace drywall. So
We
that
did.
was great.
It's very
But you
practical.
guys, like, that wasn't a bad thing that you did to each other, though. Like, you might have hurt yourself, but.
Well, I think
I was fine because I'm super tough.
That's not true.
Went through that wall, no problem.
I think I may have mentioned this
Hurt a lot. I cried.
somewhere else. I may
Cried
have
a
mentioned it
lot.
on a podcast or something, but
Oh, God,
I never
Lynn.
actually heard from Lynn's
no.
perspective.
What are we on?
This is the second one.
I'm pacing. Though.
That's
Second
gotta be, what,
That's
6?
bullshit. That's 5.
I think it's 5.
Oh,
Yeah,
gosh.
It's a lot of
Thank you,
judgment.
sir.
Wait, 5 on air?
Yes.
Can you imagine if you went
six.
up to a bar and every time they count the time you got a drink, they would.
They'd kick you out of the bar. There's something I mentioned on a podcast before that I had never heard Lynn's side of it, where I had been on production. What?
Oh no, keep going.
Well,
I'm just curious.
I'd been on a production for a few days at Rooster Teeth, and I kept getting these calls that I kept ignoring because I didn't know who they were, and also I was on set. And then I found out that it was my landlord who had given up calling me. And then the police had given up calling me, and a couple others have given up calling me. And they were trying to get into my apartment because they had been told I was in jail. And that they were trying to get rid of my apartment now and trying to get all my stuff out of there and sell it and all that stuff because, you know, I
What
was
did
in
you
jail.
do?
Didn't tell somebody that he was arrested. I didn't know who they. I didn't know you listed me as a contact for emergencies.
he's my emergency
I am not
contact.
an emergency contact. If there's an emergency, you don't
Have you
call
never
me.
heard this story?
I have
You
not
call a
heard this
stranger.
story.
Well, he's my emergency contact on my
great idea.
lease.
Was,
or
right?
was,
So
on,
what-
was
what
on my
happened?
lease.
Give us the sequence of events.
Well, the sequence of
Why did
events.
they think you were arrested?
Because he told them I was arrested.
So why did
Not
they
a
call
great
him?
question to start out
Because he's my
with.
emergency contact on the damn contract.
It happened first.
So
First
they
called
tried
me.
to call you, couldn't get a hold of you, called him.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, no, that's not how. They called me once, and they couldn't get a hold of me because they needed to some renovation with the building or
Completely
something
forgot
like
about
that. And so because they couldn't get a hold of me once, they called him, and they were like, you know, we can't get a hold of
have 2 strokes.
your brother. You know, what's the deal? We need to let him. You know, or we need to get in his apartment for this renovation thing or whatever.
Like, I can get you
And-
in the apartment.
And he goes, oh yeah, he's in jail. He's been arrested. And they were like, okay, thank you. So they immediately start trying to call me over and over again.
They had no
Why would they
follow-up
try
questions.
to call you? if
Because
you're-
They
wanted
didn't
to-
ask for evidence. They literally just took it like.
They wanted to see if he
straightforward.
was lying, which of course he was,
I
but they
wasn't
didn't.
lying. I was joking, but it was a lie that was funny. So it's a
But they
joke.
don't know you and know your
So,
humor.
so after trying to call me
important.
for 8 or 10 times and not getting a hold of me, they're like, well, he's in Travis County Jail, obviously. So
That's
now
why he can't pick up.
he
It
can't
wasn't
pick up.
obviously Travis County. You could have been in another county. That's not obvious.
Could've been another state.
Could have been any state.
So they started going
Forgot
through
about
with
this, and I feel really
the.
bad.
How long ago was this?
That was forever ago.
That's like a year and a half ago,
Yeah,
or
that's
2 years
forever
ago.
Yeah, this was
so
recently.
long.
Yeah, so they started going through
Enough
the
to heal.
process of breaking into my condo and like, you know, getting my
there.
stuff,
They
figuring out
called
how
me
to
when
like
they were breaking
sell it off and all this other stuff.
That's great.
Yeah. That was one of the bad things he's done.
Just one?
Yeah.
Lynn does a lot of bad things.
I do not do bad things. Things get carried away without my help.
You take jokes too far.
I don't take
think
them
it's
too
your
far.
thing. But no,
Other
but I'm not
people-
saying it's a bad thing.
It's not.
It's a great thing.
Because my therapist says way different. He's like, you got to calm down and stuff.
What's the worst thing Aaron's done to you?
Aaron's done?
Or that you've done to Aaron in your opinion?
Besides the drywall thing.
Around that same time, there was like he might have thought that his apartment was haunted.
Wait, what? What did you do?
Is this something that he doesn't know about?
Yeah, no, I don't think we ever actually had that. I don't know if we've ever actually had that conversation. Chris knows, so that's fine.
What happened?
What happened?
You might have maybe have thought there was a woman that was haunting the apartment next door to you.
Yes.
Yeah, that wasn't.
Aaron thought someone was haunting his apartment for like a year and a half.
It was
It wasn't that. Yeah, that's his fault. That's all his imagination carrying things.
It was a
on.
woman, a ghost of a woman, who was trying to get a hold of her insurance
her
company.
No, it's a YouTube video of a woman with schizophrenia, but
What?
yeah.
Did you rent
She
the
lives in
apartment next door or
Boston.
what?
No, it was
did
actually
you-
up for sale because I was trying to buy his place.
Oh yeah, that's another thing.
I was gonna buy his apartment.
What kind of family is this?
He was gonna
And
buy
where can I get one? Because this sounds amazing.
the condo I lived in before. As a joke, Lynn was going to try and buy the condo.
I didn't have a good punchline
and
for
become
it.
my landlord.
No, I wanted to evict you, but you have to be like a sheriff, and it's like a big deal. Like you really have to call people and put in time. You can't just
Yeah.
like buy it and then be like, get out.
So you went into the apartment next door to Aaron and would play this video for him? What happened?
It was a playlist, but
Did you
wasn't-
not know about this?
This is bullshit.
Chris
this is
knew.
absolutely bullshit.
it's
Chris
complete-
knew?
No, because I gave up on it because you never mentioned it to me at all, and then you.
I think you talked about it on a podcast
I mentioned it
one
on a
time.
podcast. I said the whole place was haunted. I said my place was haunted.
Well, Blaine also thinks that it's haunted.
I was convincing him
Which is not
because
my
I didn't know
fault.
you were doing this either. I told him, I was like, this
He
is
thought
probably
I
just
was
a,
like dressing up as a policeman and like sitting on his couch. Blaine, not him.
I told him, I was like, it's probably just like a dream or something, or like, you know,
He's a
you're
very active,
No.
creative imagination.
It was a
Vivid
woman
dreamer.
crying, and she was on the insurance. She was on the phone to her insurance company talking about some claim,
That's all you.
probably from the 1930s or something. And-
Do they have insurance in the 30s?
Yeah, it just wasn't very good. And I thought it was a
Hence
haunted.
being on the telephone, which of course was very
Of course,
common
of course.
outside party lines in
It
the 30s.
wasn't the 30s. It was more recent.
Well, that's interesting, you asshole.
I was on the fence about talking
That's
about
part of the reason why I moved, because I thought it was
I know it was
haunted.
part of the reason why I helped you move.
But it was just like 2 floors, so it didn't matter.
It's a great building.
Yeah.
yeah,
2
it's a good
floors away
location.
from the ghost.
Well, on the other side of the building. Yeah.
I feel like my story is so much more tame than you guys because
Yeah, you guys get into some shit.
I respect
Yeah.
my brothers
I
somewhat,
don't have a hobby,
and they respect me.
There's
I
no
think.
respect here.
No, I know. That's why it's so different. This is actually when I was 2 years old, and my brother was 4. And we were in Florida, because we used to go there every single winter when it got cold in Canada. And I was in a stroller, my parents were pushing me around, and we had stopped to take some photos on this dock we were on. And so my parents took me out of the stroller, and while we were doing stuff with me, my older brother sat in my stroller. And I got so angry at him that when they brought me back over, I scratched him right under the eye. And he now has a permanent scar from where I scratched him when I was 2 years old, right under the eye.
This is David?
Steven,
Oh, Steven?
he's older, yeah.
Oh, you said older, okay.
Yeah, I was 2, David wasn't born yet.
Okay, gotcha.
That's a deep scratch.
Does
for a
it make him look
2-year-old.
rakish?
No, it just looks
a
like
Bond
his,
villain?
his 2-year-old sister scratched him when he was young.
Oh.
And it's just, like, every single photo from that vacation, you see this red scab that's just right under his eye from me.
You
So-
evil person.
So I scarred my brother
You were a terrible
permanently.
2-year-old.
Yeah.
They should come up with a saying for that, like
Yeah.
the terrible twos or something.
Like, awful 2s.
awful twos.
Yeah.
Yeah.
really
Bad
bad,
twos.
twos.
Really bad twos.
Yeah,
Not so good twos.
those are bloody.
Low time twos.
So you permanently disfigured your brother. Ashley, what did you do?
Well, I mean, I did shitty stuff to my brother and sister all the time. I was the oldest, and I actually started. My mom worked full time, and my parents got divorced when we were like 8. So when I was 9, I decided I was way too old for daycare, and it made much more sense for me to just babysit my brother and sister full time from the time I was 9. And you know, to be honest, I didn't do a terrible job at it. Well, okay, I mean,
They're both still alive.
Here's the thing: is
You're killing it.
they grew up, they're alive. Neither of them have criminal records. My sister got married. She
Good.
beat me to it. She did wonderful. Her husband is lovely, and they're like basically they're both humans. So I did okay.
Yeah.
For you know a 9-year-old. But before that, I was pretty shitty. I remember when we were still in daycare, we all would like go from daycare to the bus stop and ride the school bus together. At least my sister and I would, because I was 2 years older than her.
Okay.
And I was kind of a bitch. You know, just putting that out there.
Yeah. Oh.
It went weird. And I remember one time at the bus stop, keep in mind, I grew up in rural Utah, so it's like the bus would pick
Where,
us up.
where in Utah?
And then pick up like a load
Rural.
of feed.
Rural. all
It
right.
was rural.
Rural.
And so it was like, you know, lots of like farm area. It was actually like a llama farm. You could find anything. And me and my friends found some burrs. And we managed to make a ball about this big out of burrs. Yes,
Rural
the actual-
burrs?
Was that just from like the
They
bottom
were-
of your jeans?
We made a rural burr ball.
It was a rural.
Rural burr ball.
Was anyone in your family Mormon?
We weren't Mormon. I went to church on occasion. I was technically baptized.
Ooh.
But
Technically?
Scandalous.
I mean, you know,
like a
I was
splash?
Someone spit on
yeah,
her?
this holy stuff sounds really good. I'll go in for it. I
It's a
got
steam
baptized, and then
room.
we never went to
Sauna.
church or anything like that.
Yeah.
So I don't really qualify myself. But we were, it was a very Mormon area for the most part. But we took her at the rural ball. We were like playing catch with it, and then right before the bus came, I saw my sister, and I was like, "Where's this?" And I just like chucked it in her hair.
Oh, Ashley.
Awful. This like the principal, like she had to have like burrs in her hair the whole time she was riding to school, and I was like, "It was an accident." And the principal was like picking burrs out of my sister's hair for hours.
How many did you throw in there? Or just
It was a ball this big.
It was
But they,
bubble gum and
but they
Elmer's
split
glue.
into like
Well, it's
little...
like they just go, and then she had fine hair, and it just all went.
It was a rural burrball in her hair.
Ball in her
Shrapnel
hair.
burrball.
And so that was really, really shitty because she was miserable all day, and I feel a little bit bad about that. See, there are tears in my eyes
I
now.
was gonna say, you feel emotional from
I
it.
feel a little bit sad about it because she's a good sister when it comes
What
down
about
to it.
Is
The
that
worst
what
thing-
regret feels like? Because I've never experienced that.
Lynn doesn't have any regret in his body.
It's because afterwards I became
Oh, gracias.
a 9-year-old mother.
Oh, there
so
it is.
there's an example. That's not my actual burball, but that's
That is a
an
burball.
example.
At the
burball.
time of the burrball, we took some professional photos of it.
just before we all got on the school bus, we stopped for a photo shoot.
What was
the
that
burball.
Critters movie with the ball with the things that, was it Critters?
Yeah, I think it was.
That Critters movie.
What's the Critters movie? It has critters in it.
Could it be?
And
I want to say
Animals.
it was called Critters.
Critters was a terrifying
was it
movie.
like a knockoff horror movie or
I
something?
mean,
kind
it
of
was like a
Gremlins?
sci-fi like B movie.
It was a
back in
ball of death
Yeah.
with these little monsters.
It was
on
like
it.
the
They were
Blob, but
like,
they had mouths. But
That's how they went. They went, and then the ball would roll, and then if you got hit by the ball, they would.
What,
they
get
would.
stuck in your hair?
if it was made now, it would say
It would take
something
all your
funny,
skin
but-
off your body, and then you'd just be left as a skeleton if it rolled over
Actually,
you.
yeah.
What
they
about
did
your
do that,
muscle?
like piranhas.
It'd eat the muscle too.
Oh, wow.
Critters.
It
love
doesn't
muscle.
sound like a fun movie.
It's one of those '80s shit. It might have been early '90s horror movie.
I wanna say-
I think, did you ever have something done to you, though, from your siblings?
I mean, not really, because I was the
They were
oldest.
scared of you?
And yeah, like it was basically that we got in cereal fights when we were little. And
Ongoing fights or fights with cereal?
So ongoing fights with cereal.
I'm being helpful.
No, it's both. Here's the thing: it's like it was more affordable to buy those really big bags
plastic
of
ones.
like super generic
Yeah.
cereal of whatever, and
At like Costco or something?
yeah, and just occasionally we may or may not have used those as ammunition in kitchen-wide food fights, and then we would all attempt to clean them up before Mom got home from work and then school, because she worked long hours. She was a social worker and then went to school for her degree.
Yeah.
And so like we were basically just like raised fucking wild, and our only task was to try and clean up the cereal before she got home, and then she'd see the plants and be like, "Why are there cereal in the plants?
Or are the burballs in the plants?
They didn't do much to me, honestly.
Okay.
So they never tried to buy your condo and then evict you or anything like that.
No, they never did. It may have
keep
helped
bringing
that I
that back up.
moved away very, very far away, long before they were in a position to do so.
Me and him got far away.
My older brother might have caused me brain damage as a kid.
Really?
I don't really know though. Like, cause you know when you're a baby and you have a really sensitive head, like you have all those like little squishy spots.
It's so it can like
Yeah. Your head
still has these
reform
squishy
It still
that
has the
stuff,
squishy
right?
spots,
Like
but
it's-
he would do this thing, and there's video evidence of this where I was a little baby, like that kind of baby, like can't talk yet, can't sit up by myself, and he had a
We know very
Spider-Man
different
doll,
babies.
and he would do this thing, and my parents would just film him doing this thing every time he did it. I don't know why they didn't stop him. He would take a Spider-Man doll, and I was sitting next to him like, and he would go dong 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 dong, and he would like be playing with it on my head. Just like this, but like not softly.
Is that why you have all these little footprints?
So I don't know.
I don't know. I might have brain
a
damage.
little
I
bit
don't
of
know.
drool. Just, I don't know.
You might be okay. I remember I fell down cement steps when I was a little kid.
Is that the whole point of having a
fell down
soft head?
I've
Though,
got-
was to take a
I've got like
beating?
scars like back up in here, just like not big ones, just like little spot scars the way babies get.
Yeah.
After the fact, because I just remember going. I don't remember it, but I went down the front steps.
My dad told me in our old house where we used to live, before we moved to our house in Ottawa, there was the staircase that went down to the basement, and we would always have a gate up there because I was like crawling around. And my dad was watching me one day, and my mom and my brother were out, and he forgot to close the gate, and he had fallen asleep on the couch. And apparently he woke up as I was just like doot, right over the stairs because I was crawling, and I just tumbled all the way down the stairs, and he like used his dad reflexes to like hop up of the couch and run towards me, but he didn't catch me in time.
Dad reflexes.
So he
are
has
great
really
stuff.
shitty dad reflexes.
And her head fell off.
So I basically rolled down the stairs too as a young child.
Were they carpeted stairs?
They were carpeted.
That helps.
But the floor on the basement was wood, so it's all
I
about the
fell
landing.
on carpeted stairs all the time.
Yeah, you're fine.
That
Babies
was
are
like,
tough.
well, and it's like, you know, like
Like little footballs.
you
tough.
you sled down the carpeted stairs, whatever. You like get in a cardboard box and try and ride it to space down the stairs.
Yeah, you do all that
Laundry
stuff.
basket, it breaks immediately whenever you hit the bottom rung.
You know what else comes in a cardboard box?
What?
HelloFresh.
Oh, that was a great segue.
Thanks to HelloFresh for sponsoring today's Always Open. HelloFresh is the meal kit delivery service that makes cooking fun, easy, and convenient. Each week, HelloFresh creates new delicious recipes with step-by-step instructions. Each recipe is designed to take around 30 minutes to make in your kitchen. HelloFresh sources the freshest ingredients, measured to the exact quantities needed so there's no food waste. Everything is delivered to your doorstep in a special insulated box. I have teamed up with HelloFresh, and they are offering everyone in our audience, that's you, $35 off your first week of deliveries when you go to HelloFresh.com and use the offer code OPEN. I really enjoyed the meals HelloFresh sent me. They actually sent me like 3 different ones that I got to try, which was really awesome. They actually turned out good, which Aaron knows my cooking is not so great.
Sure.
Is with HelloFresh.
So thanks to HelloFresh for supporting our podcast. Go to HelloFresh.com and use the code OPEN to get $35 off your first week of deliveries.
What did you make?
There was a portobello mushroom burger.
Ooh.
There was like a quinoa salad, and there was like another like squash thing. That
You know
I
how I
tried.
used to pronounce quinoa?
Quinoa?
Quinoa.
Quinoa. Yeah.
One no. It's like the hardest way to pronounce it. You're like,
But if
quinoa.
It's like my
Couple
favorite
extra
actress,
syllables.
Quinoa Ryder.
You know, when you just like see in
No.
the store, you've never heard it, or
Quinoa.
because it's such a different pronunciation than it looks, you never associate the two. Like I'd heard of quinoa,
Yeah.
and when I was in the grocery store, I saw quinoa. I did not know they were the same thing.
Quinoa. Now I'm never gonna stop saying I can't.
To be fair
quinoa.
though, like when I started reading those romance novels when I was a kid, I also thought it was a negligee.
Vagine.
Oh, what
I
about?
thought it was penis.
I used to think it was lingerie instead
Yep,
of lingerie.
negligee and lingerie, and I was like,
Lingerie.
and then I'd be like,
No.
Colonel,
Coom. A lot of coom everywhere.
cumin.
Spraying that coom.
One of my favorite things. All right, guys. Well, speaking of romance novels, we're going to end things with sexpertise. And this question comes from Jane M. And Jane wants to know, I study at uni in England, and I'm living in a house with 5 other girls. However, one of the girls practically has her boyfriend living with us as well. He eats our food, uses our shower, and watches our TV. And worst of all, he won't contribute to our bills, even though he's been staying here 6 nights out of 7 every week. They are also super clingy, and whenever they're in a room together, they shut out the group conversation so they can kiss and laugh simply with each other, making some of us other girls feel second best to her new partner. How do we tell her all of this without hurting her feelings?
I think it's obvious. Like those girls just have to they just have to start hitting on that guy and get and trick him into
Oh yeah, you seduce them.
seduce that guy.
Yeah.
That way,
No.
she gets left out of it and she has to move her ass out because that's bullshit. What's going on?
wait,
right
and then
now.
he just like lives in his
With the
you know,
other
the
person,
new
and he moves
roommate.
through
and-
all of the 5.
She
He
replaces-
dates all of
she-
the,
he replaces
that's
the
friends.
girl.
You're talking about friends.
It is friends.
That's friends.
But he replaces the girl, and they all use him for their own sexual, crazy stuff. I'm writing a novel right now, and they use him for his werewolf abilities.
Chuck Tingle, is that you?
Yes.
I like how this is usually the really serious portion of the show where I actually try to give good advice, but I knew having you guys on it was just gonna.
I will give great advice.
I know.
Okay.
I actually
I
know
need
the
more
advice because
information.
I've dealt with
All right,
it.
let's
What-
give
what-
Lynn a
what
chance.
information do you
have
need?
You go.
your
You
chance.
go.
I need to know, I guess, how long they've been dating and how old they are. Because if they're in university,
University, I would guess probably, let's say 20.
is it her
And did
first
you say-
relationship?
did
Because
you
it's
say
her
they're in the
first
UK?
relationship, then
They're in England, yeah.
Okay, so it might be a tad
Uni.
younger.
Yeah, it might be a little younger.
Yeah.
Also,
So
they're
let's-
all living together.
Let's say 18, 19.
but they're living in a house, so they're probably out of.
So let's say,
Doesn't mean
let's say
anything.
they're
It also
between
depends on
they're between 18 and 22.
Yeah.
Is it
Well,
is
that's
it the
university
girl's
age.
first relationship?
It doesn't say,
'Cause
but
if they're in, like,
apparently
the
they're very
lovey-dovey-
clingy and they're always
Can
together.
we call the person that submitted that? Do we have a
Just
number?
like Jane.
What are you doing?
What's up?
What was your advice? Do you have advice? I mean, I think I know, but
Well, besides seduce them?
it needs to be one of them that goes because
I think it needs to be all of them.
no, because that's ganging up. that's gang. Like that just that.
Well, for 6
Well,
months,
that's-
You don't want
how
some
many
people
people
to
have
back
5
you
people
up.
in the
You
house?
don't want it to feel like an intervention.
Yeah, that's ganging out. Like you send the one person, whoever the lead
The
girl
envoy,
is.
the
It might be the
white flag waver.
It might be the one with the name on the lease or whatever the case is. Yeah, she comes in with a flag, and no, but she goes like, listen, it's honesty. It's brute honesty in as kind as you can put it. But you basically go
So
like,
not brute, exactly.
not exactly brute, but raw honesty. Say, hey, I'm sorry if this hurts your feelings, but I and the other girls and I agree.
Start out with the dishes. Like,
Yeah.
we need to do the dishes first. Also, Jeremy is an asshole.
But basically saying like we think it would be fair for him to pay rent because he's here so often.
Not rent, but the
Well,
bills.
if he's
Here's-
eating
here's,
food
or
here's
whatever
the
the
other
case
thing,
is.
though, is you have to figure out what you want as the outcome. Do they want him paying bills, or do they just not want him there 6 out of 7 nights? Because those are both possible solutions. Say, this guy lives somewhere. If you guys are in a serious relationship, consider
Yeah.
splitting time. That's a totally legitimate thing to do.
Wha-
If you are okay to take the money for the bills and have him essentially living there, then that's another outcome, but that's also a different conversation.
What I'd say is
Which
it's
I'm
always
going for
easier
that.
not to regulate someone's time with their significant other because if you're saying like, I think you guys should split time.
But if it's
between
a
both-
new
No. I
relationship
just
and you
mean,
always
I
wanna
just
be
mean
around the
sometimes
person.
spend some time at his fucking place.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's like that to them is like
Get the fuck
It's a
out.
little bit of stank.
I mean, to be fair, his place is probably shitty. It's probably a mattress on the ground. Look, I
live alone, you were describing my place.
I've lived that life. I've had a mattress on the ground, and sometimes it
You
is
don't need a bed
fucking
frame.
glorious. I
But
know,
yeah.
right?
I think
Sometimes
you-
they're really
That's not
overrated.
important.
I think you can get to
Sounds
that
sturdier.
point by just going the straight utilities, whatever route, because if they realize that he's there so often and he doesn't want to pay utilities, then they're naturally not going to be there as much.
Honestly, the easier thing to lean on might be the fact that he eats all their fucking food.
That's a big thing.
So first of all,
You buy that for
teenage
yourself.
boys eat a fucking lot of food.
I still do.
Holy shit.
Well, it's annoying when
Bottomless.
you're all students and you don't
Everyone's
don't have a lot of
poor.
money.
Everyone's
Everyone, like if you've got 5, 6 people living together, it's not because you're all rolling in the dough and can afford whatever fucking groceries you
Yeah.
want.
Or you're in a sorority or a frat house.
I don't know if I agree with you guys necessarily. I don't think that if you guys all came to your roommate at the same time, it would seem like ganging up. I think if you were just naturally hanging out, let's say the boyfriend wasn't there one day and you said, hey, like we realized that so-and-so has been here a lot and, he's using the electricity, he's eating the food, and we all think that it'd be fair if like maybe he
We need to
contributed to our
we
bill.
also need to have a talk after this, I think.
Definitely.
Jesus Christ,
Because-
Lynn.
I don't like it being counted. You were talking, you're going to keep talking.
It's
Yes.
not counting. It's just like that when you think this has happened before, and then it starts to very often. Like I'm impressed. Really, you can speak English still.
Yeah.
I can also speak Spanish. No, I cannot
Go
speak
ahead,
Spanish.
Lynn.
No,
Anyways,
Barbara was talking.
Anyways, I don't think it's a bad thing if everyone goes up at the same time because I've been in situations where I've tried to talk to girls about something I had a problem with or something that they were doing that bothered me, and it just seemed like, oh, well, other people don't think that, or like, that's just your opinion.
Well, what about to make it less of a pile on this one person? I mean, there are a lot of people that live in this house. What about the idea of house meetings?
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, if
Right, and then
There's
it's,
that
and
many
then,
people, you
and that
should.
can be something that's on an agenda for sure. But that way, it also feels less like we've all got you in a room because what you're doing is fucked.
yeah,
Here's what you do: is the milk jug.
Give them
I don't want any more
You
advice
get a
from you.
Sharpie and you mark the line of where it's at, and you put your initials next to it, and everyone has to initial where it's at. And then once you see it's gone lower than someone's initials, and you go, "Well, who was that?" And then you know it was that
Whoa.
guy. And it's the same thing with the Frosty-O's and everything
It was
else.
nice that
Yeah.
she was trying to be considerate of her feelings about how they're going
It's-
to do
yeah.
it.
No,
But,
fuck
she's
that.
not being considerate of their feelings.
Well, I just
If she
think
has
that it's
somebody over
escalated
constantly-
to
But
a-
at the same time, like if you're in that sort of like puppy love phase, where it sounds like
if
if
it's a
they're
new
being
first
super
relationship.
lovey-dovey, and this guy is clearly seems like
Super
this girl's
hot.
world at the moment, and she probably has no idea.
Yeah.
Then you don't want to be like, "Hey, bitch." You
Well,
know,
of
you want
course.
to like be nice and approach it in a
treat
nice
it
way.
with
So
oven mitts.
oven mitts.
Hide
So-
cameras in the place and
Stop
say,
talking. No, that's
"We're
so
putting
much
it on
better.
Twitch if he doesn't start paying his goddamn 20 pounds
Well, no,
in utilities."
maybe the Twitch will pay for it.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah, get subscribers. Anyways, you have to talk to your friend because I think if this keeps going on, it could. I've heard of people who live with each other and their girlfriend or boyfriend is around all the time and eats their food and uses their electricity and stays there almost every night and becomes a problem because no one ever talks to people about it. to each other about it at least, and it just escalates. And it gets worse and worse and worse, and no one ever talks. So just talk to them.
Yeah, the answer is definitely not bottle it up. Don't push it down and push
don't
down the
internalize
happiness,
it.
or then you end up
Don't
like their dad.
mark your milk jug or stream it on Twitch.
But if you do want to approach it a little bit less confrontationally, consider like house meetings, that
Yeah.
sort of thing. Which honestly, with that many people living
You
together,
really should.
you know, maybe
I can't
good
imagine
in
how
any
filthy
case.
that place
'Cause
has to
usually
be if they're not talking
It
to each
just
other.
takes people. It just takes people to bring something up to make you realize. Like maybe the friend doesn't even realize it's a problem, and that no people are
Probably
bothered
not.
by it. So if you have a house meeting or something, and everyone's like, yeah, you know, it's a little bothersome that he's here pretty much every day, and we're all splitting the rent and the food, and you know he's using that.
Is that better with everyone,
well,
or
yeah,
just like
I think
a
it's better with
one-on-one?
everyone.
It's also worth
As a
noting,
woman,
No,
That's fair. I
that's
cannot-
even worse with all the women. When all the women are facing you and they're like, they all start talking,
To
and then you
other
get all
women.
scared.
Well, to you,
I
maybe.
I feel like that maybe probably shouldn't be the only thing on the agenda.
no,
Yeah.
of course.
You Oreo it. You have a compliment and then the negative and then another compliment.
Yeah.
Right, it's a shit sandwich.
Yes. And so you're like,
got the
who's
good, the
cleaning
bad,
the
the good."
toilet this week, is what you say.
Yeah.
And who clogged it last week?
First, you want to say
Yeah.
like,
I ate a lot of meat.
you know,
Was
you
it
guys are-
Jason?
did that a lot.
Oh, it's weird that he
The-
doesn't pay the bills.
good news, congratulate
segue,
someone
you were
on
killing me
stuff,
with
like do
segues.
some nice stuff. Like every meeting needs some high points.
Yeah.
Gotta have the like, one thing we should work on is, you know, your boyfriend keeps eating all the food. You should like, if you know, and we all like Greg. Greg's a nice guy. What do we call him?
I like
Fucking
how his
Greg,
name
great
has
guy.
changed 4 times throughout this conversation.
Jeremy Greg
because-
Irons is
Jason.
great. Jason Greg Jeremy Irons.
You know, like he seems like a really nice dude. He's over a lot.
Yeah.
We are all super fucking poor, so if he wants to contribute groceries or pay a share of the bills because he is here that much, that would be really helpful.
Yeah.
I'm sure you understand.
Yeah, definitely don't
also,
go at an attacking angle.
Yeah. Also, let's all go get drinks. You know, you don't
Yeah,
want to.
drinks help.
Here's the thing: is like you don't want. Yeah, clearly.
Yes.
Is this a secret intervention? Because that's.
I don't think that's what happened.
You need to pay the bills. Don't do it at the same time.
The
is
man
just
knows how to
bourbon.
make a drink. Texas, you're talented.
You know, so the
don't live in my
important thing
house.
is, I agree, important to talk and get it out there. Otherwise, you're just going to be paying for this dude's bottomless stomach.
Yeah.
And you'll be resenting it, which could ruin your friendship. So don't.
Yep.
Talk about it, but make sure that softball. It doesn't need to be an attack, and especially if she's in puppy love phase.
Yeah. it
You know,
could get
she's going to be
really-
like emotionally vulnerable to
Are
that.
you still friends with anyone that you knew when you were 18?
No.
Like, yeah, no, neither am I. So
Yeah, so it
just-
doesn't matter. Just be
Yeah,
rude
yeah.
to her.
Well,
You'll be friends with her
Well, I'm
later.
not saying that, but.
But when I was
you could.
18, I cared very
It's
much
an
about
option.
the people I was friends with. I've moved around a lot.
Yeah.
And you know, I have friends like Barbara now who I buy Christmas presents for. So shut the fuck up.
Yay.
She got me a cheetah pet. I killed it like 12 times.
I did get you a
Wait,
cheetah
how did you
pet.
kill it 12 times?
They're really difficult. You have to like mist it constantly and.
Well,
Like
anyway.
they're difficult to kill or they're difficult to keep?
No, difficult to keep alive. It
Well,
was the same cheetah
we
pet. It's super
unfortunately
dead.
need to wrap things up because I'm scared that you're going to drink more. So thank you, Jane M, for your question. And also, just as a reminder for everyone watching, we're going to have tons of new merch and sales going on in the Rooster Teeth store all the way through Christmas. We have tons of new products like these pillows that we have here. Papacha, and the always open shot glass and t-shirts that's in the store. So check out store.roosterteeth.com all the way throughout Christmas for all that fun stuff.
I
And
feel like we need pillows here for my arm.
I know, it's actually kinda
like my
nice.
elbows all the time. I just like armrests.
they're soft. Well, thank you guys so much for joining me.
I had a fantastic
Thank you for
time.
joining us.
You had a little
welcome.
too
We
good
were
a time,
already
I think.
sitting here, and you guys
usually
just
do.
sat
We
here.
just
so
sat
that's
down.
great.
And thank you guys all for watching, and we'll see you next week. Cheers.